Hello and welcome to webmastercampus.com. In this tutorial, we are going to learn Python port scanner. So we will develop a program using Python that will scan ports. Okay. So this is the another project and is the project number 2. We have already done project 1, which was for absolute beginners. Okay. So you can go ahead and check that out if you are a absolute beginner, but this is also for the beginner. You can try that. So let's move forward and learn what we are going to build in this project. Let's go and build. Okay, let's go and see what we are going to build in this project. First, we are going to build a Python port scanner to find open ports in 121.025 range. Okay. That's the range that we are going to scan. There are more than 65,000 ports, but we are going to build the specific functionality. Then we are going to calculate time to find open ports, also display start and end time on screen and save into a file. So 3 things: start date, the start time, end time, and the total time. These are 3 combinations we are going to find because we need to record the time before starting the scanning, and then we are going to calculate the time at the end of scanning, and then finally we need the total time our program took to complete the port scanning. Okay, so we are going to find that. Then we will save the open ports and any error into a file for a reference. So even your program is closed, you can open the file and check out which ports were open, and if there is any error, you can also record that error. Okay, so we are going to build this functionality. Let's go and build it. Okay, let's start the project and see what we can do over here. We have Python project available, and within this we have port scanner folder. You can see port scanner folder. I'm going to right click on this and select Python file, and in this one I'm going to call project 2 because this is the second project in the line of developing port scanner. We have already built a project 1 that was for absolute beginners. If you are absolute beginners, you can check that, but it's also for another way for beginners to develop a project. In Python, first, to achieve any functionality, most of the files are available or the functions are available for beginners, but without any importing any library, but you can import library to achieve the functionality. As we are going to build the port scanner, so we need to import sub libraries, and these libraries will bring pre-built functionality to achieve the task. Used for network communication if you are going to build a network program. Then we are going to use import sys library. This sys library is helpful when you are going to exit your program safely. Any operating system related functionality you can find in this library. Then we are going to use a import a library which is called Figlet, Figlet, and this is the library. And then we are going to use from date and time, import date and time. Okay, here we are. For this library, import Figlet. If you are using the Windows, then the chances are this is not going to load automatically. You can use settings, file, settings, and then go inside the Python interpreter. In this you can see I have already loaded, but this will not be available by default. You can click on install button and search py-figlet and it will bring up, and then you can click on it and install the package. It's already installed, so I'm not going to reinstall it. Now maybe it will not allow me. Then if you are good with the setup, you can go and create a banner. This banner is optional, it's all up to you. I'm going to call this banner, and this banner will be like py-figlet.figlet format, and I'm just going to pass the message port scanner. Okay, and you will see how it will print. It's just a fancy way to display text in your program. I'm going to right click on my project 2 and run it. So this is how you are going to get the idea, like it's written port scanner, something like this. Maybe it's fancy, but if you don't like it and don't want to include in your program, you can just go ahead and remove these two lines and this one. Okay, we don't need it. Now let's move and define the target. Target is the our input that we are going to take from the customer, like or myself or any user of this program. Please enter host to scan. Okay, so this is how we are going to build the program. Then we are going to find the host name, and we can just call this host, and I can type socket dot get host by name and port is closed. We are doing this for time being to understand the program. Okay, this is not the part of the requirement. Please don't forget to put colon at the end of the line where else is written. Okay, like this, colon needed, colon needed, colon needed. Okay, I'm going to run this program and see what will happen. Port scanner, and it has started. If you have noticed, the program is quite slow. It's taking a lot of time to find the port. I'm going to just stop this by you pressing the red button. You can stop this, and I'm going to write sock.set timeout, and in this one I'm going to give a value 0.001, and let's see how it will work now. Okay, you can see it is faster now. Please use the smallest value you can give, and it will try to find out in the minimum time is possible. Okay, so this is how we are going to build the program, but the picture is not clear. I'm just going to remove this part, and you can see it will only show the open port, not anything else. So for Google, maybe it's due to some securities and it's not finding the ports, or Google have banned my IP address. I'm going to write down localhost over here and see which ports are open in my system. So it's giving me 80, 135, 443, 445, 902 and 912. These ports are open in my system with it. But let's see, if you want to show the service name of the particular port number, you can also check that. Okay, but the message will be open and something like this: product service name, and in this you are going to show the name of the service. Then we can just provide the format. We have already going to input it, and within this I am going to provide socket.get service by port. Okay, and in this we will provide the port and just a fixed value for TCP. Okay, and this will give us the port number or service name as well. Let's run this and check what we will get. Okay, so the port number 80, which is open, it means it's a service, protocol service for HTTP. 135 is open for EPMAP, HTTPS 443, Microsoft DS. But you can see there are some ports, maybe their names were not defined, and that is causing a error when they are trying to get the service name for that one. Okay, so how we can fix this? We need to capture it and show a friendly message. I'm going to type try into this and accept. Okay, I'm going to write down socket.error, maybe an error generated during this, and for this one I am going to write over here. So maybe this time we need to remove this part, and after the removal we can just write unknown over here. It means the particular port which is generating the error, it is unknown, like the service name is not available for that particular port. I'm going to execute this again to check our code functionality. So you can see port 80, again HTTP, EP maps, HTTPS is available on 443, 445, Microsoft DS, and unknown. Unknown means these two ports, 902 and 912, is unknown for our service. There is no specific name for these ports. That's why it was generating the error, but we have captured it and it is working fine. And one more thing, like when we write down this AFINET is used for IP4 addresses. AFINET for means IP4 addressing, and this sock stream means we are going to use TCP. That might be confusing. What are the purposes of using this one? So you can use this, but if you check our project one that we have built, I'm just going to show you to give the idea. And this one I have showed you like IP4 is AFNet is used for IP4, and AF INET6 is used for IP6 addressing. If you want to check for IP6, you can use AF underscore INET6. SOC stream is used for TCP, and SOC DGRAM is used for UDP. I'm going to copy this because it's more meaningful than what I have written over here. Okay, I'm going to replace it with this, so it's more meaningful. Okay guys, we have figured out the possibility how we can develop this. Now we just need to find out the date and time and record this functionality in a file. Okay, how we can do this? I am going to use let's build something different. I initially in my first project I show you something date and time alone, and this time let's suppose date time dot date, and I'm going to find date time dot now. So this will just give me the date. First let me show you print statement date time dot now. Okay, so you will have the idea of what it is, and let's execute the program. We need to stop it. Okay, this is how it's going to show us the date time. Okay, date time, like this is the date and this is the time with hours, minutes, seconds and milliseconds. Okay, this is how it is going to. But if you want to just capture the date and time separately, and I don't want this milliseconds to be appear in for the display purposes, but it will use in the calculation. So what I am doing over here, I'm just calculating the date. Okay, this is how we are going to take the date. Then I'm going to call T1 is the starting time, and for this one I'm going to call date time dot now. Again, let's display this first print, and I'm going to call start time colon curly brackets dot format and just T1. Okay, so what it will display, it will display the complete date and time to me. So complete date and time is showing, but now what I am going to do to this, just going to write STF time, and STF time is useful if you are going to separate the values. So I just want hours, minutes, second. I can use %h, okay, colon %m colon %s. So hour, minutes, second. Let's see how it's going to display and show the result to us. So here we are. You can see it is just going to show you the start time. Now you are able to display the start time, just the timing, okay, not the date. If you need it, you can also display the date because we got the date in a separate variable. Okay, if you want, you can use it. But let's take the time initially, and I'm going to call this functionality because we already calculated the date. I'm going to write down the end time T2 and just replace the values variable T2 and going to call this the end time. Okay, please note I am just using T2 has the complete value. It has date, it has time and with milliseconds as well, but I am using strf time to just show you hour, minutes, seconds. And now because when we are going to do a calculation to find the total time, and total time will be t2 minus t1. Okay, so this will be the total time, and I'm going to use the same functionality over here. Just going to call this total time, and you can see I am going to replace total time with this build. Finding open ports, here we are, 443, 445, 902, 912, and the total time is going to display over here, which is like it took 15 seconds and this milliseconds to display the time. Okay, so let's keep it this now because we are good with this one. Okay, and now we are going to achieve the next functionality, because in this we just saw how we can develop the part of it, but we need to save this into a file. Okay, to save this file I am going to open a file reference. Okay, I'm going to call this file over here and just going to call the open function. Open is out of the box function which needed to build to get the file handling functionality. You need this function. Okay, and I am going to write down the file name. We already have a port scanner. Let's call this port scanner 2, and I'm going to open this in the write mode. There are a couple of different modes available, like R is used for the read mode, W is used for write mode, A is used for append mode. So which mode you want, you can use it, and you can read further about on Google it. There is a Python documentation, like read is only reading the file, which should be already existed. Write is used, W is used for write. If you are going to create a file, just writing or update a file, you will use the W. For W, whenever we use W, it means if there is any already content in a file, it is going to be removed and the new content is going to be added. But if you just want to update it, then use the append A. A means any content already existed in the file, it will not replace, just append at the end of the content. Okay, but for my program I am going to use W over here. So we have opened a file reference, and I'm going to use this over here, file.write. This is the function that we are going mostly using for the write functionality, and I'm going to use this over here. Here we are going to use this one, and let's build this for T2, and the total time I am going to, let's use the same, otherwise it might be confusing. Okay, I'm going to use it, this one, and this is the total time. Let me write it. Okay, total time. So now at the end of the program, when this program will be executed, it also write all the similar information, in the file. Let me put this in the file as well. Okay, file.write, and in the write, let me copy the functionality that we needed over here. Then we need this for this part, file.write. Okay, I'm going to copy this functionality, this one, and writing it over here. Now we are good. It will display all the result as well as write into the file. Let's go and build this program. Run, port scanning started. You can see I think I have again used this SRTF because total time is not considered as a date and time, maybe that because of the time difference it's going to display it. Okay, we have port scanner, and in this you can see it is just built the functionality. This is the start time, then port 80, protocol services HTTP, protocol name is EPMAP, HTTPS, Microsoft DS, but I am doing this manually. Hopefully you have noticed the problem. It's giving us the result but not in the correct format. To make or get this in the correct format like this, you need to add some code, and we need to add \n where we are writing this messaging. Let's call this after first str, I'm going to write \n over here, and start time, then every port calculation I want to add a \n over here. Then start of end time, I'm going to add \n, let's call \n, and the total time to \n is gonna be helpful in this one. Let's add one more over here, so more spacing. Let's run this program. Okay, this program is executed. Let's open this port scanner 2 that we have built, and you can see after the unknown we should have a end time, before end time, and the total time. Maybe I did a mistake and I write them into the print statement. Yes, I understand, I know I did this. So instead of print, it should be in the file dot write functionality, and this is going to fix it, the program. Just quickly run this. Okay, now go and check. Here we are good on this one. Port number is 80 is open, protocol service name HTTP 135, EMAP 443, HTTPS 445, Microsoft DS, and these two are unknown. Okay, so we have successfully built the functionality, but one more thing is still remaining, is error handling. Okay, let's go and build the error handling. So first we need to put the try over here, and I'm going to just press the tab select after selection of this. Then I'm going to write the except. Let's call this socket dot GA error, and in this GA error I am going to write print statement giving the message host name could not be resolved. Okay, and let's give a message exiting something, and we can use sys.exit, and this is good for safely ended the program. Then I am going to use a except socket.error to capture the generalized error. Okay, and we are going to write down the print statement, couldn't connect to server, something like this, couldn't connect to server. Okay, and let's also give exiting and sys.exit. This is how but we also need to record this information in the file. So I am going to select this file functionality over here and just call the \n 2 times. Okay, and build that for this one, and I'm going to just copy this message that we have already written, and I'm going to use this one as well. So we should be good now. So we have handled the error in this one. You can see how easy it is. We are going to develop the functionality while using the file. You can also face the problem. So it's recommended to use the error handling over here, like in project 1 I remember for open the file scanner, you can just find out what as port is available, what error handling like file not found or cannot have the authority. You can do this, but I will recommend you can find out on Google to figure out how you can do this. It will be something like this: try and catch. You are going to develop this in try block and something like accept. Okay, well, file, it will file not found or file exist error, something you can use to print the functionality. Okay, to print the message like file not exist, file exists error. And you can also sys.exit to this one to friendly message to the customer. And remember, open this target and disable this one. This is no longer needed. So once we run this program, we can call the port scanner. We need to enter local host. Here we are, start time, port services, open. So it will completely handle all the ports in the range and also going to handle the error, start time, end time. We are good on this one. Okay, so I hope I will guide you good on this one. If there is anything you don't understand, you can comment out, let me know. I will try to help you. Thanks, bye.